Did you know? Early in the development process of the first Bioshock, the game were to feature bosses known as savants, which were basically brains in a jar which had evolved beyond having physical bodies. But this idea was scrapped when they realised that fighting brains in a jar just didn't make for very fun gameplay. But this idea shares some similarities to the handyman in Bioshock Infinite. Instead of a brain in a jar, the handyman's heart is encased with glass on its chest. The handyman's heart is also visibly functional despite being exposed, and the purpose of the handyman's suit is to prolong the life of the owner, as the suits are made for those in critical condition. Did you know? A third Big Daddy design was originally intended to be in the first Bioshock, alongside the Bouncer and the Rosie. Called the Slowpro, or known to the development team as Slowpro FUM or FUM, which means slow moving projectile shooting effed up melee, this Big Daddy was designed with a shoulder mounted cannon and a large hook for a hand in place of the Bouncer's drill. This was eventually cut late into the development of the first Bioshock, released in 2007. According to PJ Leffelman, lead animator at 2K Marin, they felt the Slowpro to be a little too colourful and saturated, and didn't quite fit the more realistic subdued tones of the other Big Daddies. An updated version of the Slowpro was included in Bioshock 2, to what we now know as the Rumbler. Did you know? Even though they were always called little sisters, the little sister in the game was not always intended to be a little human girl, and went through many iterations before they became what they are today. Ken Levine, head of Irrational Games, was always adamant on them being empathetic to the player, and to come across to the character as one you wouldn't want to kill. Very early in the development process, they were designed as mole people that would scurry around Rapture, and concept art shows that they would have come in more than one form, quite like the Big Daddies. After that they became slugs, what were to be known as gatherers. Irrational Games actually had an AI in final animation all set for these, but according to the podcast Irrational Behaviour, they realised that nobody would feel empathetic towards slugs. But the idea of slugs may have gone on to inspire the Adam slugs, the result of harvesting little sisters throughout the game. Finally, Sean Elliott, designer at Irrational Games, designed a dog in a wheelchair after trying to think of the most pathetic thing he could. After releasing the concept art online, it became legendary among fans as being a terrible idea, as well as spawning parodies from the development team themselves. Did you know? The design of some of the splices in the game, more specifically their faces, were inspired by actual World War I veterans who had undergone facial reconstructive surgery. This could be due to splicers using plasmids to injure one another, or because Dr. Steinman, an insane surgeon in the game, is falsely advertised to surgically improve the appearance of Rapture's inhabitants. Or alternatively, it's possible that Steinman could have seen these World War I veterans and were inspired to carry on their design. Or even stranger yet, in the world of Bioshock, are we to assume that Steinman was the one responsible for these surgeries? But by this point, it's all just speculation. Did you know? The original name for the Gene Bank, a station in the game that lets you swap around your plasmids, was originally titled PlasmaQuick, but it had to be changed when playtesters commonly avoided the machine because they weren't quite sure of its purpose. The Gene Bank was also originally intended to have more functions similar to the Gatherer's Garden, but it hasn't been yet stated what they were. And that's all the time we have for today, but be sure to subscribe to The Real DidYouKnowGaming on YouTube and follow them on Facebook and Twitter. Be sure to check out DidYouKnowGaming.com, where they post gaming trivia every single day. If you like this video, check out The Real DidYouKnowGaming, as I'm just a fan making a simple tribute, and they've got plenty more videos just like this, giving you fun facts and trivia on things you didn't know about your favourite gaming franchises. And speaking of Bioshock, if you enjoyed this video, then check out my new review of Bioshock Infinite. I also reviewed Bioshock 1 a while ago, but I don't really like how that came out looking back. It's quite an old review, and I haven't reviewed Bioshock 2 yet, but if this video goes well, I might just get round to it. And if you end up sticking around on this channel, you'll come to realise that I ramble quite a lot, as I am right now. Anyway, I'll just leave you to it. See you next time.